It's that time of year again. It is playoff hockey. It is back. TitleTown Throwdown. I'm Nick LeBlanc. We're getting right into it today. The Bruins and the Capitals will open up the Stanley Cup playoffs here today. At 7:15 p.m. on NBC, the game will be in Washington to start off. So to start off here is a preview of the bracket here in the NHL. So as you can see, you got the North Division and the West Division on the left side of the bracket, and then you got, allow me to move this and Notion out of the way for a minute, for just a moment. And you see here you got the East Division and the Central Division on the right side of the bracket. So these are your 16 remaining teams that are still alive for the chase for the Stanley Cup. Now, look, I want to make this pointed out pretty clear too to anyone else. If you see other games like Edmonton, Vancouver, I can actually tell you them right here. Yeah, if you see Edmonton, Vancouver, ignore it. It's a meaningless game for realistically both teams. For Edmonton, this is a tune-up. For Vancouver, they're just trying to play out the rest of their schedule. All right, it's same thing tomorrow. Flames, Canucks, but that's not till 10:30. No one's going to care for that. There are 3 playoff games on tomorrow. Everyone's going to watch those. Monday, it's all playoffs. It's all playoff hockey. Tuesday, again, if you're a hockey nut, you know, Flames, Canucks, whatever their penultimate game of their season. And then again, Wednesday, Vancouver and Calgary, they'll be done after Wednesday. All right. There is no Thursday for them. There's no Friday for it. Look, I think those games are meaningless, personally. And just tell those 2 teams, just forget about it. But draft positioning and expansion draft positioning for when the Seattle Kraken, they have to pick their team. But look, if you're a hockey nut and you want just a bit of a tune-up before, then knock yourself out and watch Vancouver and Calgary 3 times and watch Vancouver, Edmonton for all I care. The real games are the playoff games that are happening real soon. And the North Division playoffs, they don't get underway. The North Division playoffs, they won't be able to get underway, sadly, until Wednesday. Who to blame for that? Yeah, you could blame Vancouver, but who really knows? Who really knows? It doesn't matter. What does matter, though, again, is this playoff bracket and the Capitals and the Bruins. The Bruins are back in the playoffs after what looked like for a while. It's like, oh my God, this team's going to miss the playoffs. Because you think about it, we talked about this a few weeks ago, that it is kind of tied in with Claude Julien and his and at the time when we didn't know it, but close to his tenure ending here in Boston. They lost the Stanley Cup final to the Blackhawks in 2013. Following season, and it was a lockout shortened the year. So keep that in mind. Following season, President's Trophy winners, you get bounced in round number 2 by the Montreal Canadiens. Following 2 years, you missed the playoffs in 15 and 16. 17, you fired his butt the day of the Patriots Super Bowl parade that kind of rained on their 28-3 comeback over the Falcons. Good job there, Bruins. But Bruce Cassidy, he got the Bruins on track, got them to the playoffs. Then what does Bruce Cassidy do? Playoff appearance, Stanley Cup final appearance, you lose. President's Trophy winners, you get knocked out in round number 2 by the eventual champion Tampa Bay Lightning. 2021, it wasn't looking good for a while. You had a couple teams nipping out of your butt, but obviously you took care of your business. Obviously, the Bruins did take care of business, which was a good thing. A lot of these series they don't get underway till Sunday. Yeah, Sunday tomorrow. Couple start on Monday. The North Division, they start Wednesday and it'll be interesting to see how the North Division goes because Game 7 of the Bruins Capital Series is projected for Thursday the 27th. So that'll actually be interesting. I'm actually interested to see how this schedule works out. Let me go to Toronto just as see how many back-to-backs they'll have. So no, looks like Game 7 of the first round for the North Division will end no later than Memorial Day the 31st. But that is if it gets that far. I mean, Toronto, Montreal, they do play one back-to-back, and it's on the 24th and the 25th. That does help make up a day. Let's go to one of the other teams, the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, they're playing the Edmonton Oilers, and they know when they're going to play the Oilers, and the Oilers know when they're going to play them. So that series kicks off, and Game 7 of that series is scheduled for, again, the 30th, and again, May 30th, and again, a back-to-back is scheduled on the 23rd and the 24th, again, to help make up a day, and I think the NHL did a great job of expanding out the other three divisions a little bit just to, just keep it within that 31st time frame because you don't want the second round of the playoffs start any later than June 2nd. All right, because look, the Summer Olympics are coming up, and you want this puppy wrapped up. You want a champion crowned before then. So right now, if my math is serving me correctly, which good chance it's not, because I am not a math whiz. Right now, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final could happen anywhere between, say, Wednesday, July 14th and Wednesday, July 21st. It's typically a Wednesday when Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final is. That's always a typical thing. And plus, you had got the travel and everything else, too, with it in practice time, so let's shoot for the target date of July 21st when we could actually see the NHL season come to a complete close. It'll be done and over with in these. And look, the NHL, they want to. Look, I think the NHL, they want to get the new season started up as quickly as they can. And by that, and look, you have a 32nd team. You can have 2 new TV deals in ESPN and TNT. That's a big boost to the league right there financially. So, and look, I think the later the NHL starts, I wouldn't say will be the worst thing, but the later you start, the less chance you have of an 82-game season. Now, you could play 82 games in, say, 120 days, but you're still looking at the start of the playoffs looking like in May, but you won't have any COVID postponements because by then, the vaccines will still be out there, but by then, hopefully the Canadian border is open so we can see U.S. teams traveling back and forth between Canada. So that way we can see Bruins Montreal, Bruins Toronto. Now Bruins making their annual West Coast trips out to Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. So any of that, all that happy little jazz. But the border thing the NHL is aware of, they want to make that happen before the semifinal when you get down to the final 4 teams where you're going to have at least one Canadian team. And if the border does not open up, the most likely that NHL Canadian team is going to move down here to the States and play in they'll play in an NHL arena where it'll probably be a team that's been eliminated from the playoffs. So let's say, for example, if it's Toronto, and comes out of the North. I think that's unlikely. Let's say it's Toronto that comes out of the North, and they're going to be paired up with the team from the West, which is the way the bracket looks like it's going to work out. You could put Toronto in, say, LA, San Jose, Arizona. Who did not make the playoffs in that West/Central division? You could go virtually anywhere you want with this, but you had to think, West Coast type thing. So, yeah, Arizona, LA, San Jose, maybe Anaheim, maybe Detroit's an option, Chicago, Dallas, maybe somewhere around there. But, the NHL will cross that bridge once we get there. Let's just focus on right now. What is tonight? It's the start of the playoffs. The Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals are battling out in the first of their best-of-7 series. So here's how the series is going to break down. I wrote an article about this the other night. It is on fansonlysports.com. You can check that out there, but I'm still going to give you the preview here. So we got tonight at 7:15 p.m. on NBC, strictly on NBC. It is a national broadcast tonight. The next 3 games, whether you like them or not, you can catch the game on NESN each of the next 3 games, and the next 3 games are as followed. Monday night puck drop is at 7:30. Wednesday the 19th, it comes back up here to Boston, a 6:30 puck drop. Yeah, 6:30. Then Friday night on the 21st, you got another 6:30 puck drop again here in Boston. And then these are the if necessary games. Sunday the 23rd at Washington, time to be determined. Tuesday the 25th here in Boston, again, time to be determined. And then Thursday the 27th, time to be determined, along with all the television networks. But the one thing that you don't have to worry about, if you're constantly on the go, 98.5 The Sports Hub will have all Boston Bruins home games. They'll have all Bruins playoff games. So don't worry about that. TV-wise, NESN has 3 of the first 4 in this games, 2, 3, and 4. They could possibly, I just see NBC having the Sunday game because of probably a Sunday matinee. But then I did see NESN having maybe game 6 and game 7, and then NESN will go bye-bye for the season, whether the Bruins get eliminated from the playoffs or the Bruins advance. Either way, after round 2, NBC will take over. Full on. But, if you live outside the Boston market, you want to watch them, the game will be available nationally on NBC Sports Network. Anyway, though, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of the series. You're facing old friend Zdeno Chara, who signed a 1-year contract with the Capitals for relatively cheap money. It was under $1 million. And I'm still mind-boggled to this day on this. You're telling me that you could have brought back the grizzled vet for under $1 million for 1 year. Now look, I know the Bruins wanted to go in another direction. They wanted to play guys like Lazon. They wanted to see if Charlie McAvoy to step up. They wanted to play Carlo. Kevin Miller was coming back into the fold. The Bruins did not see a fit for Chara, but the Bruins wanted to put Chara maybe 4th line, significantly less minutes, have some time on the power play, and all that. And Chara didn't want that. And look, you can't blame Zdeno Chara for wanting that. Why? The dude's a competitor. The dude is a competitor. I mean, the dude is he might not have the statistical numbers that you want. He might not be the all-imposing big threat that you want out there in Zdeno Chara. But his presence is known, and the Capitals are lucky to have that. I mean, look. The guy is 44 years old. He's the NHL equivalent to Tom Brady. The guy just doesn't want to quit. Brady was here for 20 years. Chara was here for 14. Brady won 6 Super Bowls here. Chara only won 1 here, but he did win 1 here. He won 1. He won here. 44-year-old defenseman facing off against his former team, his longest tenured team. Could this be the swan song for Zdeno Chara? Look, earlier this week, Alexander Ovechkin came out and said that he wants to win the Stanley Cup this year and then signed a contract extension with the Washington Capitals. Chara, this is probably his final chance. I don't see Washington bring Chara back. I don't see any team wanting to bring on Chara for a guy who's going to be 45 next March. Who's going to turn 45 next March. And look, Chara, he's playing significant minutes. In his last 5 games, his least amount of ice time is 14:45. And that was May 5th against the New York Rangers. The day before that, he played 17:23 against the Rangers. May 7th against Philadelphia, 15:27. May 8th against Philly, 18:17. And then on the 11th against the Bruins, 20 minutes and 13 seconds. He's still logging 20 minutes here and there. Now look, this year Chara only got 2 goals and 8 assists for 10 points. And that's fine. He's a defenseman. You don't expect him to score. But you expect him to be nitty-gritty. And his plus-minus rating with the Capitals this year, it was a 5. It was a 5. That is his second worst. This is actually his third worst plus-minus rating. 4th worst, actually, if you think about it. Whatever. Chara's first full year in the NHL, he was a -8. In 1999-2000. In 99, 2000, 2000, 2001, both the Islanders, he's a -27, and the Islanders got rid of him. With Ottawa is when his production came up. His first year in Boston, 06-07, was his second worst statistical plus-minus rating at -21. And then from then on, 14, 23, 19, 33 in the Stanley Cup year, 33, 14, 25, 0. And that was back in 14-15 when the Bruins had a lot of defensive trouble. After that, 12, 18, 22, 22, 26. And now 5 here with Washington. So yes, his play has declined. That's fine. But he's still a threat. He's still a big body that you got to watch out for. A big body that can plant his big fat butt in Rat's face, which wouldn't be anything weird to Rats. He's seen Chara's butt many times before. And standing in front of him. Anyway, though, you're going to have Chara's fat ass right near the net to really block Rat's vision, so that way a guy like Oshie or Ovechkin can set up a one-time goal. Get his fat butt out of the way. Let your goaltender see the puck. He's going to save it, and chances are you can win. Now, another thing you got to do. Keep Tom Wilson in check. Look, he's not going to go after Carlo. He's not going to go after Bergeron or Marchand. Well, maybe Marchand, but who doesn't want a piece of Marchand? Because the guy just gets under your skin. The guy that I believe Tom Wilson's going to target, and I think that a lot of the Capitals guys are going to target, like Hathaway, like Dylan, like Nick Jansen, like Van Riemsdyk, like John Carlson. The big tough guys, the big old tough guys that the Capitals have, they're going to go after Taylor Hall. Because Taylor Hall in only 16 games here with the Bruins, 8 goals, compared to his just measly 2 with Buffalo when he signed with them. So that has a lot to say for the system that Taylor Hall's in with Buffalo, and the system that is in here with the Bruins. Just again, Taylor Hall played 37 games with Buffalo, 2 goals, 17 assists, 19 points, a minus 21 plus minus. That was a career high for him. In just 16 games with the Bruins, 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points, a plus 15. It's the system, because if you look at it, all the way back in his first year with Edmonton, it was a -9, a -3, a +5, a -15, a -1, -4, a -9, a career high 14 with New Jersey in 17-18, then -6, -11, -3 in Arizona, -21 with the Devils this year, not the Devils, the Sabres this year, and now a +15, which is a career high for him. Mind you, this guy is a prolific goal scorer, or it's supposed to be. His career high in goals is 39, and he hit that in 17-18 with the New Jersey Devils in 76 games. Now, I don't recall the New Jersey Devils made the playoffs that year. They probably not, because the Devils are the Devils. But I don't think Taylor Hall's found the right system yet. I mean, look, Boston is his 5th NHL team. He's only been around for 10, 11 years. So what does that tell you? That the guy can't latch on to a system. 16 games for the Bruins, he's latched on. Because he has good line mates. And David Krejci. And I believe, a combination of Pastrnak, but Pastrnak's mainly on the line of Bergeron and Marchand. So you look at it, who else is on that said line? Along Krejci. It's not DeBrus. DeBrus lucky if he can hang on to a roster spot at this point. It could be Corrali. I think it's Craig Smith. That line of Smith, Hall, and Krejci, that's been a excellent addition for David Krejci. And it's a great compliment to your top line in Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak. So the Bruins need to utilize those guys. Score with your top 6. You score with your top 6, your bottom 6 will take care of the dirty work. Score early, often. Contain Ovechkin. Contain TJ Oshie. So if you let those two guys just shoot from anywhere they want and it gets by Rask, you're screwed. But one thing too, and we're gonna roll into the Patriots schedule release in a little bit after a quick break, because I did spot a new ad here. I'm not sure what that is, but I am gonna play it. But you need a guy like Nick Ritchie to step up and be a big guy. Trent Frederick, we know he's not afraid to bang his body around. You want to see Carlo move his body around. You want to see Clifton, if he plays, move his body around. You want to see Mike Riley do something. You want to see Kevin Miller get into some of these guys. You want to start to see some of these guys show a little bit of spine. If Tom Wilson goes after even one guy, your ass better be there. Your ass better be there. Why? Because if your ass is not there protecting and taking out Tom Wilson, he's going to get in your head, and he's going to skate freely at will. So remember the hit that he had on Carlo about a month and a half ago. And another thing too, and this whole ties in Wilson, the NHL player head did not want to, Department of Player Safety head didn't want to suspend Wilson with the Carlo head, but when a guy grabs his head, ding dong, you have to. But now, I want to tie this in to how does this affect Tuukka Rask? Well, his friend in Binky, Yaroslav Halak, didn't make the postseason roster. In fact, Halak's tenure here in Boston's most likely over, because Jeremy Swayman just came out of absolute nowhere and is taking the Bruins goaltending by storm. When Raps was out of the injury and Halak had COVID, Dan Vladar and Jeremy Swayman, they did great, but Swayman proved to the Bruins saying, hey, I can play at this game too. I can play at this level. Give me a shot. He has a shot. So look, if I'm Tuukka Rask, I'm looking over my shoulder for this Swayman died. Why? Because if you are just performing absolutely pathetically at any point, your ass is on the bench, Swayman's in, and I highly doubt that it'll get to this point. But Bruce Cassidy will bench Tuukka Rask and probably start Swayman and ride the rookie. Now look, we've seen Cinderella stories before in Jonathan Quick and Jordan Bennington. You didn't even throw in Anton Khudobin last year at the Stars. Backup goaltenders turned into great starters and had a Cinderella run in the postseason. If it gets to that point, Swayman, the omen is good for not only Swayman, but for the Bruins. And if that does happen and Jeremy Swayman takes his starting job by the horns and leads the Bruins to the Stanley Cup, guess what? Tuukka Rask is out. Tuukka Rask is out of here. Now, look, there have been some murmurs that the Rask has come out and said that he wants to come out to the Bruins. He wants to stay with the Bruins. There's been murmurs around internally saying, and I think they're kind of split the room here, 50-50, that half the room wants to bring Tuukka Rask back in because he gives them their best chance, and the other half of the room says, we got something to the Swayman kid. We might want to give him more of a shot and let Tuukka hit the road. Tuukka's on the final year of his contract. And again, we have an expansion draft coming up. Yeah, his contract will be expiring, but you could give Tuukka Rask signing rights away to the Seattle Kraken, and Rask can sign a deal with the Kraken and be the first ever on goaltender for the Seattle Kraken. That's possible. Another possibility is too that the Bruins bring back Tuukka Rask on a team-friendly deal because the Bruins now, and these are other rumors I've heard, and Taylor Hall said that he loves it here. He wants to remain here. And internally, some of the Bruins faithful, like Neely and Sweeney, they want to bring back Taylor Hall. Now, also, too, Taylor Hall, and this is just strictly to you, Taylor Hall. Now, you're probably never going to see this, but I don't care. This is a message to you. You could have saved yourself a lot of time and trouble. $1 million, you sucked at Buffalo, you come here, Buffalo takes half your salary. You come here and you're happy as a damn clam, and we're glad to have you. But anyway, though, you could have saved yourself a lot of time, trouble, and aggravation by taking a team-friendly deal here in Boston from the beginning, and could have been on your merry way. But that's besides the point. All right, quick break here. Before we do get to the break, though, those are the keys for the Bruins. You need to have good goaltending. You need to shut down Oshie and Ovechkin because they're the top two guys, and also Nicholas Backstrom as well. But contain Tom Wilson. Don't let him get into your head. Marchand let him get into the Capitals' heads. Let him get into their heads all he wants. But don't let Tom Wilson get into your head, because if Tom Wilson gets into your head, he can score. And look, the dude has a shot. All right. So if you see him taking a shot, block it. But he's also a guy that can get into your head too. So anyway, how will this series go? I can see it going 7. Personally, these two teams are pretty evenly matched. You know, the Bruins went 4-2 against the Capitals earlier this year. That's fine. But, we got to see what happens here. All right. Quick break. When we come back, we're going to dissect the Patriots 2021 schedule, the biggest season ever in the NFL. Going to break down all their games, how I think they're going to do, and also other NFL storylines as well, and more drama with the Rodgers stuff, but now head coach Matt LaFleur saying stuff. TitleTown Throwdown on all fans-only network platforms and Naked Sports.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is, when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion, or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
The Odyssey Group International. I was wondering what that was. But one of the nice sponsors here that we now have here on the Fans Only Sports Network, and along here with our alternate site, Naked Sports, as well. All right, as promised, the 2021 NFL schedule has been released, and the Patriots have just three primetime games all season. One of each of the three. Now, again, the Patriots can either be added to a primetime slate, depending on the record or to the other side of the opponent, or whatever. I think the Patriots are going to be fine with all their primetime slots. And again, one to be added because of one matchup features a team whose record is just absolutely great, and one team's record is absolutely piss poor. And let's be honest, that probably will happen. And say the Patriots are like a 500 team battling for a playoff spot, taking on a team that they're trailing for that playoff spot. Yeah, the Patriots will get that primetime game. The Patriots will get that primetime game without a doubt. All right, so as you saw earlier this week on the Clutch a little bit, Devin, he broke down the schedule too. I did break it down too and give you my game predictions, what I think could possibly happen. I'm not as generous as Devin, obviously. So, and I did catch Devin, part of Devin's show there with the whole NFL schedule thing. I think he gave the Patriots wins where they probably shouldn't get wins. So let's break it down. Week 1, September 12th versus the Miami Dolphins. Now, look, you typically split Miami every year. Do I know you beat Miami here to open up the season last year? They lost in week 15 and they eliminated you from playoff contention. Look, Dolphins still got some issues on offense. Defensively, I think it's an evenly matched between Brian Flores and Bill Belichick between systems. This will be a tight one, but I'll give the Patriots the win here. Patriots start out 1-0. Week 2, September 19th, at the Jets to take on Zach Wilson. Look, I think Wilson will still have some jitters. I think he'll still be working out the kinks, getting used to the NFL game. So I'll give this a win for the Patriots as well. Just based on the fact that Bill Belichick just absolutely dominates rookie quarterbacks. And it's still the same here. I mean, look, last year, Justin Herbert, rookie, Patriots trounced all over the Chargers 45-0. So there you go. Week 3, September 26th at the New Orleans Saints. First off, who the hell is the Saints quarterback going to be? Is it Taysom Hill or is it Jameis Winston? If it's Jameis Winston, you're guaranteed at least two picks in the first half, because that's what Jameis Winston's good for. Let's be brutally honest with that. Jameis Winston, is he a bad quarterback? No, but he is also, I think, still the only quarterback to have a 30-30 season 30 touchdown passes and 30 picks. So, of the two, I don't know. Both can give you a good chance to win. Taysom Hill, he started for the Saints multiple times. I think Hill would at the start. And the Patriots, they do tend to have some issues in the mobile quarterbacks. I'm on the fence about this one. I'm going to give the Patriots a win to put them to 3-0. But this could also be a loss, too. But I'm going to give them a win here, 3-0. All right, week 4, the game of the year. Right out of the date. I love it. October 3rd, Sunday Night Football. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski will return to Gillette Stadium for the first time as visitors. And an interesting thing here for Brady, too. Brady has faced and defeated 31 of the 32 NHL. 31 of the 32 NFL franchises. See, that's now on my mind because the NHL is about to have 32 teams starting next year. So, hey, it's not a complete blunder. Anyway, though, the only team who Brady has yet to face and try to beat, that's why it's important. I see this being a loss realistically for the Patriots, and who will be the Patriots starter by then? Cam Newton or Mac Jones? Look, I'm going to be straight up and honest here with you as we take this low quarter break. And again, I do see this as a legit, definite loss for the Patriots here. Oh, wait, no, that Saints game is week 3 here in Foxborough. So my apologies there. That is a W, and I like the Patriots at home. I don't like the Patriots at home against the Bucs, though. So look, there's multitude of reasons. A, Tampa Bay's quarterback situation, line, off, and just straight out offensive weapons are 10 times greater than yours. Yeah, you added Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry to the fold. Yeah, you got 2 legit number 1 tight ends. Good. You still don't have a legit number 1 wide receiver. You picked up 2 number 2s and Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar, who you overpaid for both. You did. All right, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Oh, but Nelson Aguilar, he did great with the Eagles. How many balls did Nelson Aguilar drop 2 years ago for the Eagles? And they were catchable balls. Kendrick Bourne, how long did it take his fat ass to run a route? So that's my confidence with the Patriots offense. Who will be the quarterback for the Patriots by then? Will it be Newton or will it be Jones? And now going back to that point, Mac Jones could easily beat out Cam Newton for the starting job and start week 1 against the Dolphins. Jared Stidham should not be the backup. Jared Stidham will not be QB2. He'll be QB3, or if he's lucky, active as the 3rd quarterback on the roster. He will be the 3rd quarterback on the roster, but he'll be lucky if he'll be active for any game. And I see so many people saying, "Oh, Stidham will." I had one person on a video that I made on TikTok saying that Stidham is the heir apparent to Brady. And someone answer me this: if Jared Stidham is the heir apparent, then why the hell is Cam Newton and Mac Jones here? Why the hell did Newton start 15 of 16 games last season? Why did the Patriots waste a 1st-round pick on Mac Jones then if Jared Stidham is the heir to the throne of Brady? Stidham's been here for 2 years and his development sucks. You can't wait for Stidham any longer. You can't. So look, it's either going to be Cam Newton or Mac Jones starting that game against Brady and the Bucs, and I won't be surprised if it's either of the two. I won't be surprised if it's Cam Newton, but I won't be surprised either if it's Mac Jones. I won't be surprised if Mac Jones beats out Cam Newton for the starting job, which he realistically should. He realistically should, but Bill Belichick probably won't throw him into the fire right away. But depending on how bad Cam Newton plays in the first 3 games of the year, which, let's think about it, it'll probably be bad. He won't hesitate to go to Mac Jones. The only reason why Cam Newton's just consistently started and played every offensive snap in games last season, because Bill Belichick had zero confidence in Jarrett Stidham and his development. So there you go. And between Newton, Hoyer, and Stidham, he only threw for 8 or 9 touchdown passes total throughout the whole 16-game stretch. Maybe a little more than that, but you did not break 20 touchdowns passing. You broke it rushing, great. Passing wise, it was a minute number. It was a laughable number. And this is my last thought before I get to the rest of the schedule here. Lamar Jackson, who is a run-first quarterback, had more passing touchdowns than Cam Newton, Jarrett, and Brian Hoyer combined. And also, the Ravens had the least amount of pass attempts in the NFL last season. Embarrassing. So, again, it doesn't matter whether Cam Newton or Mac Jones start that game week 4 against Brady and the Bucs. It's a loss for the Patriots. Start them at 3-1. Week 5 at Houston. Now, this is interesting because Houston's quarterback situation is still in flux. Will Deshaun Watson play or will it be Tyrod Taylor? I don't think Watson's playing. I think it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. So this could be an overlooked game for the Patriots. You can look past this game. And now look, is Tyrod Taylor awful? No. Is he good? No. But he's that underrated guy, sneaky guy that could sneak in and be like, hey, you think this is going to be a cakewalk? Not so fast. And he hands you a loss. I don't think it's going to get to that point. So I'll give that a win for the Patriots, moving to 4-1. Week 6, you welcome back Dak Prescott to the field, and you welcome in the Dallas Cowboys. Look, I don't like Dallas as much as the next guy. I think their fan base is absolutely obnoxious and annoying, and Jerry Jones is a bleeping idiot. All right, he's a freaking clown. But I also don't like the offensive matchup between you and the Cowboys either. They have a better quarterback, probably a better backfield, and better offensive weapons. Line, it's good. It's good. I mean, a little suspect because Dak did get hurt last year. But ordinarily, though, their line does a really good job of protecting their quarterback, and they did a great job protecting Andy Dalton last year. So, defensively, I think you have an advantage, but not by much, especially in the secondary. But I'm going to give this win to the Cowboys here, so that drops the Patriots down to 4-2. Week 7, you welcome in the Jets. You already got the Jets out of the way. Zach Wilson, his feet will be much more implanted here. I still think you're going to win and blow out the Jets. It's the freaking Jets. And again, rookie quarterback. So that's another one for the Patriots. Already have them at 5-2. Week 8, you go back to LA to face off against the Chargers again. You figure that you went out to see the Chargers last year. Don't you think that they should come here? The NFL said, yeah, but who cares? Justin Herbert, though, he's good. I think he's going to be vastly improved. So right away, your quarterback situation is much better. But it took away his best tight end, so that already benefited you. So offensively, I think you're evenly matched. Again, I'll give LA the advantage with the quarterback. Defensively, though, you're much better than the Chargers are. So I'm going to give you a win here against the Chargers. Week 9, if Cam Newton is still the starter at this point, which by then it'll probably be a toss-up, depending on how well he's playing, he makes his return to Carolina. Which I think he should start for that game, honestly. He faces his old team in the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold, look, he was in a bad situation in New York. He's a turnover machine, but a change of scenery, depending on how well he's playing, this could be a trap game for the Patriots, and I'm going to say the Patriots lose to the Panthers and Sam Darnold. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. So I've dropped the Patriots down to 5-3. I've already lost track. 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, 5-2, 6-2, 7-3. No. 6-3. 6-3. Gee, oh my. See, poor math. Browns, week 10. Coming to Gillette. Look, better quarterback, better offensive weapons, defense just about even, maybe if not better than you, or you're better than them. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go Cleveland in this one. I'm going to go Cleveland. Week 11, Thursday Night Football against the Atlanta Falcons. You go to Atlanta. We haven't seen Atlanta since the Super Bowl, or the year after the Super Bowl. I forgot which it was. Either way, Matt Ryan's still down there, so quarterback situation already better. Tight end, they got a rookie tight end, but defensively they match up well against this team. So I'm giving you a win against the Falcons to bring you to now 7-4. And now here's where it gets tough for the Patriots. The home stretch here, weeks 12 through 18. Let's go. Your home versus Tennessee. Quarterback-wise, Tannehill's better than Newton, but I think Mac Jones will be starting by then, in all honesty. But how the hell are you going to stop Derrick Henry? Given that loss to the Patriots, they drops them to 7-5. Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are just a wagon right now. Josh Allen, he's on another planet, so that's a loss for you. Back-to-back L's. You're on your bye week, and then you go to Indianapolis. That game is that is a week 15 to be determined. That could turn into either a Sunday night game, a Sunday night football matchup, which will make sense. Because you'll be battling for a playoff spot. The Colts, they'll probably be battling for the top spot in the AFC South. Why are they in the AFC South? It still mind boggles me to this day because they are nowhere close to the South. But again, Carson Wentz, though, new situation. He could be having a fantastic season. He could rip apart the defense. I'm giving that a loss. 7-6. Week 16, you host the Bills. It's a 1:00 game. The day after Christmas. I say you split Buffalo this year. Again, there's a chance you could lose to Buffalo again. There's a chance. But I say you split Buffalo, and you're able to get up to, what is it now? 8-7 after falling to 500. All right, then last 2 weeks. Week 17, January 2nd, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars most likely to be out of it by then because it's the Jaguars. And again, rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence, he's really good. A good mixture of both arm and legs. But again, home. Trevor Lawrence probably won't be used to the New England cold. We all are here. Advantage, Patriots. 9-7 right there. Week 18 against the Dolphins to wrap up the year. Look, I'm on the fence with this one too. I'm on the fence with this one. There's an off chance that Miami's having a bad year and they let their guard down. You beat them down there, and then there's a chance that they just absolutely kick your ass. The Patriots typically don't play well in Miami. They play decently enough to just stay in the game. I'm on the fence with this one. I gave them a win, but I'm changing towards now. Give them a loss. You're in Miami. It's a house of horrors for you, no matter who's under center. So my final record prediction for the Patriots is 9-8. Playoffs. if you're able to now look, you gotta either beat either Buffalo once of those 4 games, and you gotta beat either Tennessee and Indianapolis. And then you gotta split Miami. That's the only way I can see it end in the playoffs. If none of that happens, you go 9-8, 8-9, forget about it. No playoffs. 9-8 just gives you a winning record, but no playoffs though. All right. Right out of time here. I do want to get into one NFL headline that I did see. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur said yesterday actually that Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, the Packers want him back in the worst way possible. Look, I think Aaron Rodgers is really the best option for Green Bay. But here's what the article goes on to say. Throughout the Rodgers drama, Packers' message remains steadfast. The club wants the reigning NFL MVP in Green Bay in 2021. He is under contract because Rodgers, he's under contract for 2021. He has an opt-out after the season. Coach Matt LaFleur reiterated that stance Friday ahead of rookie minicamp, saying the Packers obviously want the QB back. I've got nothing new to update, and he said in quote, We still obviously feel the same way. We want him back in the worst way. I know he wants that. We'll continue to work at it each and every day. Rumors regarding Rodgers have swirled since the draft, and it was reported that the QB wasn't happy with this contract situation and might want out. Since the bombshell landed, the Packers have been consistent in the message that Rodgers isn't going anywhere and that he's loved within the organization. There are no plans to trade the QB. Several former teammates close to Rodgers, like NFL Network's James Jones, have framed the situation as fixable, which it is. Any relationship is fixable. The whole Brady and Belichick thing, that was just unfixable. Brady just tolerated it here. Until he said enough's enough. And Kraft gave him what he wanted. And Kraft gave Brady exactly what he wanted. Freedom. That's something that Bill Belichick probably wasn't going to give Brady. That's something that Belichick probably would have done, gave Brady 3 years ago if he asked for it. Belichick could have kicked Brady to the curb 3 years ago without Jimmy Garoppolo starting for us, and we wouldn't care. And Cam Newton wouldn't be here. Mac Jones probably wouldn't be here. Well, maybe Mac Jones would be here. Jared Stidham definitely would not be here, though. So, and then, the story goes on to say, until we hear directly from Rodgers, however, the rumors aren't going away, which is true. Rodgers, say something. With the looming uncertainty hovering over Wisconsin, LaFleur was asked about how he prepares Jordan Love if he trusts into the starting, if he is thrust into the starting role. LaFleur said this. It was very non-committal. I just quickly read the quote. He sounds non-committal already. I'm not going to make any assumptions about anything at this point. We're just going to take it day to day. But I think every player on our roster has got to have the mentality that they're going to be that guy. If not, when you do get the opportunity, you will not be prepared for it. So that's ultimately what we stress to every player on this football team. Football, unfortunately, has some uncontrolled circumstances that happen. You might be one play away from getting your opportunity, and that is true. Perfect scenario. Bledsoe went down. Brady went in. Brady never looked back. And look, earlier this week, the Packers signed Blake Bortles. Really, Green Bay? Blake Bortles? Oh, God. And I still see so many things, Bortles will be QB1 for the Packers once Rodgers is gone, because Rodgers is gone. He's not going anywhere. Blake Bortles isn't even going to make this damn team, so shut up. Blake Bortles had one decent season, and that was 2018, a year that Jacksonville literally caught lightning in a freaking bottle, and then Blake Bortles just literally absolutely crapped his pants all over the place, like he has done since the beginning of his freaking career. So people who think that Blake Bortles is actually going to be a starter at Green Bay, you are the definition of delusional. And that's about all I got for you today. But look, the whole Rodgers situation, not going away. Green Bay wants him back. I think he'll be back. It's a fixable situation in Green Bay. And look, I think Rodgers is in Green Bay for 2021. After that, well, it's a wait and see. But again, for the people who think that Blake Bortles has a legit, actual chance to start in Green Bay this year, go keep sniffing or snorting, whatever the hell you're doing it. Keep doing it. God bless you. Because guess what? Again, you're the definition of delusional. That is TitleTown Throwdown for this week. Thank you all for joining and tuning in. You can catch a replay of it. You can catch a replay of TitleTown Throwdown on our Facebook and our YouTubes, Fans Only Sports and Naked Sports as well. Until next time, I'm Nick LeBlanc. Have a great weekend and let's go Bruins. Take care.